This episode is brought to you by Shopify. That's the sound of switching your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling. Harness the best converting checkout and same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Stop leaving sales on the table. Discover why millions trust Shopify to build, grow, and run their business. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech23.
Welcome to the Instagram Stories Flash Briefing. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. In case you missed my show yesterday, I talked about how a lot of people have been getting their accounts disabled because they're using third-party apps in order to figure out who is unfollowing them. Those apps are not allowed by Instagram, and as a result, they get their accounts disabled. And getting your account reactivated once it's been disabled is a really challenging process. I would recommend not using any apps like that. So what can you do to figure out who you should unfollow on your profile? This is a really important question. If you go to your Instagram and you tap on the last tab, which is your profile page, and you click the number of people that you're following, there are two categories that are really important here, and they show right at the top. The categories are least interacted with and most shown in feed. Least interacted with is about 50 people, at least it is in my case. What I suggest doing is going through this very carefully because the least interacted with accounts are those that you've interacted with least in the last 90 days. That means you probably didn't like their posts or react to their stories in any way. Go through and see if these accounts are still relevant for you. These people may have unfollowed you already, that's why you're not having a connection of any kind, or you may realize that you want to renew that connection, reach back out to them, start a dialogue, in which case it's really good that Instagram lets you know who these people are. I definitely recommend this method as opposed to using any other third-party app. The next item of news I'm going to talk about is unrelated to Instagram, but really interesting. So Sarah Frier is a writer for Bloomberg. She's been on my podcast before. I play clips from that podcast interview all the time because it's my favorite. But Sarah Frier tweeted earlier today that Snapchat wants creators to be able to make money on its app without being influencers / working with brands on sponsored content. They're giving away $1 million a day to the top videos in a new feature called Spotlight. This is super fascinating. Here's the gist of it. Right now, if you want to make money, it's going to be typically as an influencer or a content creator on Instagram or TikTok, and you're going to be looking for brands to pay you for featuring their product in your video. But what if it wasn't that way? What if you made money directly from the platform? This is what Snapchat is doing. For the rest of 2020, they're going to be giving away $1 million a day for video makers whose content blows up on the platform. But this is the unique twist about it. You don't have to have a lot of followers in order for this to happen. In fact, and here's the kicker, you don't even have to have a public profile. Instead, an algorithm will determine what to show Snapchat users based on how often others view the post. If others view the same post repeatedly, for instance, that's a signal that it's catching on and it will spur the algorithm to distribute it more widely. Just as a reminder, Snapchat is mostly designed to be private. There's no resharing of videos or displaying follower numbers by default. That's not how the platform is set up. So without those metrics, it's harder for users on Snapchat to get popular, to get noticed by brands, to get hired to create sponsored content. And that's what influencers and content creators are typically working toward. If you're someone who's very uncomfortable putting themselves out there for a variety of different reasons, this might be something that resonates really well with you, especially if you've thought about going viral, but don't feel like you necessarily want to build up the following that's required in order to do that. I absolutely love this concept, and I think this is something that will get me using Snapchat again. I haven't really used Snapchat since 2016 when I switched over to Instagram Stories, except occasionally for some filters on Snapchat that I think are absolutely great. That's it for today's show. Come back tomorrow for more Instagram news, tips, tricks, strategy, and much, much more.